Hi, good afternoon, everyone. If you could hear me, just say good afternoon, and we're gonna get started now. Okay, so today is very important, right? My goal for us today is to go through questions 2, 3. Wait, let me show you. So today, this is what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna do question 2, 3, and 4. So that next Sunday we could do 5, 6, 7. And then that would give us maybe a few days before the exam. So what I want from you guys is that I need you guys to have your calculators on hand. There's some things that I'm going to need you to calculate. And most of it, what I'm going to do is just go through so that you understand how you should read the questions, what you should be thinking when the questions come up, and all that sorts of stuff. All right. So if you guys are ready, just say ready, and we're going to jump right into it. So you're gonna need a book to do some calculations when I ask you to calculate, and you're definitely gonna need your calculators. So I'm looking at the chat, waiting for majority of persons to say ready, and then we get started. The exam is literally the week after next week. Literally the week after next week. So I hope you are mentally ready, and I hope you are doing your revisions. Okay, so let's get started. So we're gonna do 5 past papers starting in January 2024 to June 2021, all question 2s. So let's get started. All right, anytime you see the word simplify, what should come to your mind is add, subtract, multiply, divide, whatever you can. If ever you see a question and you realize like this one, so if you look at this question, right, what you would notice is that you can't add the top, you can't subtract the bottom. The next thing that you should do anytime you realize you can't do one of these 4s is to factorize. Because if you can factorize, that is what is going to allow you to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So if you look at a question like this, right, what you would notice, again, but let me just make sure everybody with me and understand what I'm saying. So yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. All right, so one person said no, so I'm just going to repeat it. Okay, anytime you see the word simplify, it means to break down the question as much as you can. Breaking down the question means add what can be added, subtract what you can subtract, multiply what you can multiply, divide what you can divide using the rules that you know. What I said was, if you realize you look at a question like this, where you cannot add, subtract, multiply, or divide directly, and how do you know that you can reduce it or multiply? I cannot add x squared to x because these are 2 different terms. I cannot subtract 49 from x squared because if you remember the first rule in algebra is that you can only add or subtract like terms. And at this moment, none of these here got like terms. If it was multiplication, then it would be easy to multiply, but it's not. You understand what I'm saying now? So now that we know we can't do none of these, we got to factorize. So let's factorize the top. What do x squared and 7x have in common? What can I pull out or divide out from both of them? I could pull out an x. When I pull out an x, you pull out 1 from the 2, 1 gonna get left back. Plus, when I pull out the x, what's gonna be left back here? 7. Everybody should be with me. What type of factorization did I use at the top? Anybody could tell me what type of factorization I used at the top, pulling out x? Because there are 5 types of factorizations that you should know. Which one did I just use? I used the distributive law, which means you pull out what both of them have in common. Now, let's look at the bottom. When you look at the bottom, they don't have nothing in common. But look at the question. Is there a factorization that could be used here? Anybody could tell me what a factorization that could be used here? X squared minus 49. What you should notice is that this is the difference of 2 squares, not the perfect square. The difference, it's a subtraction, the difference of 2 squares. So how do we factorize the difference of 2 squares? Here's the formula again. A square minus B square. How do we factorize? We find out who is A. We find out who is B. And A is the base of A square. So what number or what letter you multiply by itself to get A square. Same thing with B square. So once you find A and B, you factorize it as A plus B and A minus B. So using this concept, I'm going to come to the side and factorize the bottom. X squared minus 49. X squared is a square number, so that means A would be what? X, because X times X give you X squared. Similarly, the second term, which is the B term, is a square number. One number times itself gives you 49. Again, for my class, I try to practice a lot of square numbers. So everybody, you should know your square numbers from 1 to 15. So from 1 square to 15 square, you need to know these numbers out your head. So 7 is the base number. So how do I factorize this then? A plus B, A minus B. So that would be X plus 7, X minus 7. So that's the answer for the bottom. So let's put it here. X plus 7, X minus 7. Now, when you look at a question like this, you look to see if you could do anything here. Can I do anything here? Yes, because what is happening between these two things, multiplication, what is happening between these two things, multiplication, that means I could cancel to the top and the bottom. Is there anything the top and the bottom have in common? Yes, the entire bracket, the X plus 7 bracket, the X plus 7 bracket, both of them, the top and the bottom have, so it could cancel out each other. So what is left back? X is left back at the top. What is left back at the bottom? X minus 7, and that's your answer. If you got it, say got it. If you don't got it, that means that you don't know your factorization rules, and that means you got to go and learn them. There's nothing I could do at this moment if you don't know them. So in your book, if you realize factorization is a weakness, write it down. We have several videos on factorizations you could watch. All right, let's move along. Here it says find the value of. Now, this is a keyword. Anytime you see the word value, it means that your answer must be a number. You see the difference? They didn't say simplify. Simplify means you just break it down as far as you can. Find the value means that your answer must be a number. So they say find the value of R when X squared. Yeah, but you don't have to write it down fast, or you have to go back to the recording to write because of what we're trying to do today, right? So all those persons who are trying to copy down, I recommend you don't write, you take pictures of it. So you could copy down after class, or you could go back to the recording if that's okay. So what we're focusing on is completing all these past papers tonight. All right, so let's go. So we're trying to find the answer, the value for R. So keep in mind, the first thing you should think, okay, when I finish answer this at the bottom, R must equal to a number. So let's see what they have here. They said X squared times X to the 6th power equals XR. Now, pay attention. You know what the rule is because this is the laws of indices. When you're multiplying two bases that are alike, what do you do with the powers? Somebody, anybody? What's the rules? When you're multiplying, what do you do with the powers? Excellent, you add. So this is going to become X2 plus 6 is equal to XR. No, look at this. These parts here don't match. If these parts match, that means therefore 2 plus 6 is equal to R. So R is equal to 8. And that's how you get your answer. If you got it, say got it. If I see I don't got it, I will quickly reiterate or explain it in a different way or go over it. But I just need to know if everybody with me as we move through these questions. Waiting, watching. We have about 19 people here. I need to get some feedback or you will be removed from class. Again, some people are sending me responses directly, which is perfectly fine, but you got to respond. So I'm going to do a few more questions and then I'm going to check and then remove people accordingly. All right, so let's keep it going. So they say no, the same thing. It says find the value of. So now, instead of R, we're looking for S. Now, check this out. They say that S to the third power is equal to 8. That means there is some number, when you multiply it by itself, you will get 8. How do I cancel? For example, if I had S squared is equal to 4, how do I get rid of a square? By square rooting both sides, because square root is the opposite or the inverse of squaring. So that's how you get rid of it. Similarly, cube, there's an inverse to cube. On your calculators, you should see cube root. So I recommend everybody, you should look at your calculators now and do this for me. Cube root, both sides. So cube root 8. And let me tell you now, if you can't use a cube root now, don't wait until you see it in the exam to then feel a type of way. Get your calculator and figure out your calculator. Look for this button. Some people don't have a tree, but you would have a button that look like this, X. It would be X here, or some people would have like a box here, and they would have to plug in. So those who got the X and the box, you would have to put 3 first, then click that button, and then click 8 last. Tell me what number you get. So one person said 2. Anybody else? Make sure you get it, please, because remember, you have to know how to use a calculator to find these kind of answers. Words, that's bad. That's wrong. That means you press the wrong button, Lovey. Look for it again. Try again. It shouldn't be a number bigger than 8. It's supposed to be a number smaller than 8. So for example, 2 times 2 times 2. 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So that's the answer. Your answer is 2. So S is equal to 2 because this cube root will cancel out the cube, leaving you with S. All right, moving along. So persons, if you know this is a challenge and you need some help with figuring out your calculator, I don't mind helping. So let me know after class if anything. Okay, I like these when we get to these questions because these questions come a lot. Please expect to see a question similar to this because I'm going to show you something. Watch the exams for the past 2 years. This is something that we do in measurements. Watch a measurement question in algebra again. Watch another measurements question in algebra again. This one didn't have any. But if you notice, watch another measurement question again. Let me see. So out of the 5 exams that we're doing, look how often they've brought a measurement question. Okay? So please make sure that you don't let it, okay, great, perfect. Please make sure that's something that you are comfortable with and not nervous about. So let's go through it now. So first thing first, we have here, the diagrams below show a triangle and a quadrilateral. So you need the content from geometry. You got to remember the angles in a triangle. You got to remember the angles in a quadrilateral and know how to use them. All angles are in degrees and are written in terms of A and RB. For the triangle, show that 2A plus 5B equal 171. Now, for my class, I would have explained to them, and I will say it again for everybody here. CXC bringing these type of questions a lot. They're going to give you a question until you calculate it. It's going to come like this. Where they're going to give you the answer and ask you to prove how they get this, where they get this from. Now, when you look at this triangle, you realize the only way to get A and B is the angles, right? Then you got to try figure out, well, what do I know about angles that would help me with this? You should remember that all angles in a triangle add up to, that's your cue. Angles in a triangle add up to, people, I should be seeing the chat flooded because we should know these things, right? Okay, all angles in a triangle add up to 180. So that means that's the first thing you're gonna write. And let's say you ain't sure, but you want to write it in words. You can literally say all angles add up to 180, but you would put 3B plus, so that's this one, plus A plus 2B, which is this one, plus A plus 9, which is this one, is equal to 180. So let's just make sure everybody with me here, if you understand why I have this like that, tell me, got it? Just to confirm that you understand how we got all three. So this is where now, right? You're using what you know to answer the question they're asking you. They're never going to tell you add up all three. They expect you to know that they give you angles in a triangle, and they expect you to know that if you add up all three, it's 180, even though it got 10 letters. Okay, so what would we do from here? Anybody could tell me what you think we should do from here? Now, this is where you're going to be tested about your algebra knowledge, because you should know what you could only add and subtract your like terms. So what you're going to do is put all the A's together, all the B's together, and all the constants together. So let's start with the A's. This is a A, this is a A. So you got A plus A, then you got plus, this is what, a B, B plus B. So that's a 3B plus a 2B. Keep it in mind, right? Pay attention to the signs that come in front. Even though we are adding, if this was a minus, you would have had to move the minus with the variable. So luckily first is all addition, right? And then plus 9 is equal to 180. So let's go. A plus A in the chat, because I want to see something. What is A plus A? That's why I ask. Everybody, let's go post your answer. Guys, you cannot get an A square from addition. You only could get A square if you had A times A. This is why we're here. Okay, everybody with me? If I have an A and I add an A, how much A's do I have? I got 2 A's. So that's 2A plus 3B plus 2B. How much B's you got in all? 5B plus 9 equal 180. Now look at this. This ain't got no numbers on that side. So what does that tell you you got to do next? That you got to move the 9 because you realize everything else matching. Watch that. Your 2A matching, your 5B matching. So you got to get rid of the 9. How do we get rid of the 9? By transposing, aka we carry it over. When we carry it over, it becomes the opposite. So instead of add 9, it's going to become subtract 9. So we're going to end up with 2A plus 5B equal 180 minus 9. Let's see what we end up with. 2A plus 5B is equal to 171. And we got the answer. If you got it, say got it. Now, please note, I ain't care about this question, you know what I care about? I care about you understanding how to analyze questions like this. Whenever they say show or prove, it means that this is the answer, and whatever they give you, you got to calculate, you got to simplify, you got to transpose until you get it to look like what they give you. I hope everybody understand what's going on. All right, so let's move on. For the quadrilateral, show that 7A plus AB equals 342. Now, this is my question. Do you think you could answer this one by yourself? Yes or no? Based on what we just do you think you could handle this part here now? Tell me the truth. Is yes or no? What would be the only difference? Instead, all the angles in a triangle add up to 180, but all angles in a quadrilateral add up to Excellent job. Excellent job. So those people who didn't know that, you know that now. All the angles in a triangle is 180. All the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 180. Now, let me ask you a question. Suppose you had a shape with 5 sides. I gave y'all a formula to work out the sum of the angles inside. Anybody remember what the formula is for that? So let me know if I have to give it again. So I need yeses or no's. Do you know how to calculate? Do you remember? Because I gave this to my class on the formula sheet. And that's why I'm going to bust out your face. And I get real gangster in here. I'm watching the chat. Guys, please write this down. This is important because, for example, suppose they bring this exact same question, you know what to do, but if you don't know how much the angle, the sum of the angles inside, that means you can't calculate it. So this is the formula, right? The sum, and you know what I mean. The sum means when you add up all the angles in it, the sum of the angle. So please add this to your formula sheet in any polygon. And you should know all the polygons, right? So you got your triangle, your quadrilateral, your pentagon, and a pentagon is 5 sides. Let me ask this question. Do you know all the polygons? Up to 10. I'm watching the chat. I need to know, yes or no, if I have to go through it quickly. Do you know all of the polygons? All right, so let's just do this formula quickly. The formula is 180 n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. So copy that down, please. This is the formula. 180, and you're going to need it. There's something telling me here. Make sure you know this formula, Oche. 180 times, because you know that's what the brackets mean, n minus 2. And n represents the number of sides that shape has. So for example, get your calculators in your hand after you finish. A pentagon has 5 sides. So somebody tell me what's the sum of the angles in a pentagon? Calculate it for me. Before I do it, let me see if anybody thinking today. So Carter got 540. Anybody else got anything? Because come on, at this point, I should be able to give you a challenge and you're not afraid to try it. That's 2 persons. Anybody else? If you get something else, tell me what you get. Talk to me. Show me what's going on. You're supposed to be working this out for yourself. In the meantime and between time, let me just recap the name. I was asking persons to calculate the sum of the angles for a pentagon, knowing that a pentagon has 5 sides. So what you should have done is say 180, open bracket, n, if it's a pentagon, it got 5 sides, so that means n is 5. So it's 5 minus 2. So that means it's equal to 180 times 3, because 5 minus 2 is 3. And what is 180 times 3? 540 degrees. So that's the sum of the angles in a pentagon. So just a triangle, 180. All the angles add up to 180 degrees. A quadrilateral, 360. A pentagon, 540. And you could work out the rest of them. So let's go through the names of all the different types of shapes. So 3 sides, 4, 5 sides. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 is a triangle. And you know, you got different types of triangle, your right angle, your scalene, your equilateral, your isosceles. So make sure you know those as well. You got your quadrilaterals, which would be your square, your rectangle, your parallelogram, your kite, your trapeziums. Make sure you know them. If you never hear any word I just say, system error, run for help, go get our textbook quick. 5 is pentagon. 6 is hexagon. 7 got two names. 7 got either got septagon or heptagon. 8 is octagon. 9 is nonagon. 10 is decagon. So for those who don't have that, take a picture because you need to know. And what's the formula again? To find the sum of the angles inside, 180 times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. All right? So again, we're moving on. This is not a writing class. This is a screenshot or take a picture or look at the video after. So here, I feel like everybody should know what to do now. Since you know that all the angles in a triangle, in a quadrilateral add up to 360, you know all you got to do is add up these 4 different angles, put it equal to 360 and solve. So let's do that because we don't want to take anything for granted in case y'all would have made a mistake along the way. So let's do it. So let's start with this one, 6a plus 3a plus 2b. I need my glasses, but I can't see. Plus 2b. So we got our one. Let's do this one. Plus 18 plus 3b plus 3b minus 2a equal 360. Again, just like what we do, we're going to group all the a's. So I'm just going to use a different color to make it easier. So let's do all the a's. I make a mistake somewhere? No, this is right, because this was 6a by itself. So you're going to be 6a plus 3a minus 2a. Did I get all the a's? And everybody realize why it's minus, right? Because in front of the 2a came with a minus. So that's where you got to subtract the minus. Let's do blue for the b's. So where's the b's at? 2b. But let me scratch out these things I don't use so I don't get confused because I myself just see a lot of things. Okay, so I got this plus 3b here. Plus this next 3b here. You see what you got to cancel out sometimes so that you don't mix up? All right, and then you got plus 18. So I got all equal 360. All right, so there we go. So I got 6a plus 3a minus 2a. Answer from everybody. How much a's I got left? Everybody agree? 6a plus 3a is 9a. 9a minus 2a, 7a. Excellent. How much b's I got? 2, 3, that's 5. 5 and 3, that's 8. 8b plus 18 equal 360. Let's check to see if we're on track. 7a plus 8b, we on track. So that means just like the one before, we know we just got to get rid of the 18, carry it over. Instead of adding, we're going to subtract. So we're going to end up with 7a plus 8b equal 360 minus 18. 7a plus 3b, how much is that? 342. If you got it, say got it. While we're here, I just want to highlight some concepts. Some concepts that you need to know is what? That if they were talking about the perimeter instead, what do you know about perimeter? Perimeter means that you have to add up all of the sides, right? If they were talking about area, you should know that each one of these here got a formula to find the area of each shape, right? So don't let it overwhelm you. Just stick to what you know, stick to the rules. All right, so let's keep it moving. It says here, solve the pair of simultaneous equations in 1 and 2 to find the values of A and B. Now, look at how they bring simultaneous equations. They make you find a formula for the first one. They make you find a formula for the second one. So you should know that you got two equations. What's the first one? The first one is 2a plus 5b equal 171. Actually, which one I would put to the top? Wouldn't I put a bigger one to the top? And everybody see why it's better to put a bigger one to the top? even though A make a difference, to be honest, let's just keep it like that. Let me do it like how you would do it. So you would have write the first one first. So let's keep it like that. So let's try it. 2A plus 5B equal 171. We know that's equation 1. Then you have 7A plus 3B equal 342. That's equation 2. Now, as it stands, so let's focus here. You should know the rules for simultaneous equation. You got to try eliminate your A's or your B's. Now, based on what we see here, even though both of them are positive, none of them got the same coefficient. So we got to make them match. Which one you think is the easiest one to make matching? Let's get rid of the A's then. What number 2 and 7 got in common? What number can I change 2 into and 7 into? AKA the LCM of 2 and 7. Sometime this year. Thank you, guys. Okay, excellent. So if I trying to change both of them into 14, I got to multiply the entire of equation 1 by 7. I hope everybody following, right? And then I got to multiply the entire equation 2 by 2 because 7 times 2 going to give me the 14. So let's write the first one. What are we going to get for the first one? 2. So there's going to be times 7. There's going to be times 7. There's going to be times 7. Calculators. So 2A times 7. Let's use a different color. Let's use green. Going to give me 14A plus 7 times 5 is 35B equal 171 times 7, guys. Everybody should have the calculators in hand. Okay, so that's 1197, right? And now there's going to become equation 3 because this is a brand new equation. Equation 1 has changed into equation 3. Then let's look at the second one. Let's go 7A times 2, 14A plus, so all of these going to be times 2, times 2, times 2. So this is going to be 6B equal 342, that's 684. 684, this is going to become equation 4, right? Now, can I eliminate now? Yes, because now I have 2 terms in both equations that match. Will I add or subtract, people? How do I get rid of it? Add or subtract? Excellent. Why do we subtract? Because the signs are alike. 14A minus 14A is going to give me 0. That's how I eliminate. Keep in mind, if 1 was negative, I would have had to add. Because remember, addition and subtraction are the opposites of each other. So you would have had to add them to eliminate them. Okay? Because the signs are like here, we subtract. That means everything to the top, we subtract by the thing that's below it. Right? So let's go. 14A minus 14A is 0. So that means we got rid of the A's. 35B minus 6B, is that 29B? What is this thing subtract from each other? Let me see. That would be 3, 1, 5. That's correct. All right. So what do you realize we end up with? 29B, because the A is gone, is equal to 513. What do we do from here? Remember, we want the value of B. So what we're going to do is transpose by dividing by 29 on both sides, because whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. So this is going to cancel out. So B is equal to what? 513 divided by 29. But my class ain't with me at all today. What's going on? What? Hold on there. Wait there. Hold on there. Why is this question like a mix up or something? What year is this? What year is this? This can't be the exam I'm looking for. That's not it. Hold on. What kind of method CXC does use? What is this? I'm just checking to see the answer. So instead of the A's, they changed the B's, but it should be the same answer though. They found A's 18 and they got B's 27. So how somebody, when I make a mistake with the calculations, let's check it again. Let's go back. So people calculators, let's check this again. So we know this is 14A, that's right. That's 35B, that's right. Check 171 by 7 again. Is 1197? So that's right. And then 14 times 2. And these are the numbers they gave us, right? 171, 342 is this as well. So when you subtract this, that's correct. 35 minus 6 is 9, 29, right? And when I subtract that, that's correct as well. 513 is right. So 513 divided by 29. How much would you get? I wonder if they round it off, because that would make sense. How much y'all got again? 17 point what? 17.68. So if we round it off, it would be 18. Would that give us the right thing? Hold on. Yeah, they say 1 is 18. That's weird. Okay, let's use 18 and see what's going on. So let's round it off to 18. Okay, and then substitute and see if we get the other answer. So let B be 18. So let's use the first one, 2A. So the next step is to substitute. So we're going to use 2A plus 5B equal 171. Please know that there are years when CXC themselves does make mistakes, so don't panic. So let's go. What value we just found? B, right? So everywhere we see B, we're going to put in 18. So 2A plus 5 times 18 equal 171. Okay, so somebody was 5 times 18. Should be less than 100. 90? So let's see. And then we want to find A, right? So let's transpose. So that means let's carry over plus 90. So we're going to get 2A is equal to 171 minus 90. How much is that? About 81. Divide by 2. So this is going to give me A is equal to what? About 40.5. And if you round that 40.5, that's what, 41? That's so weird. I'm going to check it over and see what's going on with this. This could be wrong too. All right. But everybody understand the steps? So the steps is eliminate 1, Find the value of one of them by doing the elimination, and then you take it and then you plug it into one of the equations, and then you transpose to find the other one, okay? All right, so I think that's it. That's it. We just answer a whole paper for January. So my question is, do you think you would have been able to answer this paper now if something like this came? Think you'll be able to handle it? All right, let's move on to the next exam. Yeah. Oh, I did the paper twice. I did the same exam twice because I was like, why? I seen double. January 2024, January 2024. It's twice. Okay, I understand. All right, let's go. June 2023. Let's go. I did this recently with my class. This is algebra fractions. So you're doing the same thing, right? You're just canceling using whatever is common. You're looking at the numerator and denominator. So for example, I know 4 can go into itself. I could cancel diagonally, right? Cross. 4 into itself once. 4 into 16 4 times. Then I got 2 things I could cancel. I could cancel out the x's because both of them got 1 x, so they're gone. Now look at the coefficients. 5 into itself once, 5 into 15, 3 times. So nothing else left to cancel. So it's 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. So that's your answer. Moving along. Solve the inequality. Solving the inequality is the exact same thing as solving an equation, except it has this sign here, the less than or greater than sign. What you should know is that if you end up at any point in time multiplying by a negative number or dividing by a negative number to transpose, you have to change the direction of the sign. Change the direction of the sign. That's the only difference between solving an inequality, and an equation. Please know an equation is something that has an equal sign. An inequality is an equation that has an inequality sign, okay? So let's take a look here. Let me just write it over for clarity. 12 minus 4m is less than or equal to 5 minus 8m. The trick is here, right, guys? We want all of the letters on the left-hand side and all of the numbers on the right-hand side. So we got to make 2 movements. So this minus 8m got to come over. So let's move that first. Because it's minus here, when it comes over, it's going to be positive. So it's going to be 8m minus 4m. Go back to less than or equal sign. Then one number over here. 12 is here, so I got to move 12 on the other side. So what was left back on this side was 5. So this is going to become minus 12. Everybody with me so far? So 8m, if you got 8 m's and you take away 4 of them, how much you're going to left back with? 4 of them, less than or equal to. And this is going to give us, one number going to be on the right-hand side. 5 minus 12. Excellent, -7. So it doesn't matter. I just put it there because I know it bigger. Instead of making it look like -4m plus 8, I just doing it smarter. Doesn't matter. This is the exact same thing as 8m minus 4m. So we move here and we transpose by dividing. I have a question. Will my sign change direction? Yes or no? Will the sign change direction? Yes or no? The answer is no. You know why? Am I dividing by a Negative number? No, I'm dividing by a positive number, so it doesn't change. If I had to divide by -4 because this was negative, then I would have changed the direction of the sign, okay? So this would cancel, so m would be less than or equal to -7/4. That's your answer. All right, this would have thrown off a lot of people and make them panic. You just stick to the rules. Next one. All right, so we see here we have another measurement question. It says the diagram below shows a compound shape made from two rectangles. The lengths in the diagram, which are written in terms of x, are in centimeters. So you see they tell you that centimeters, so whatever they ask for, you got to give it in centimeters. Find an expression in terms of x for the length of PQ. Where's PQ? First of all, tell me if you see where PQ is. If you find it, say yeah. You find PQ? No. First of all, everybody should know how to do this with regular numbers. So let me ask that first. Y'all know. Let's say there was real numbers here. So I'm going to just give you some examples in red. And then you tell me what you think the answer going to be. So let's say this is 20 centimeters. Let's say this is 15 centimeters here. Let's say this is 5 centimeters here. Let me get this a round number, even number. Let's call this 10. Let's call this 10 centimeters. Let's call this 5 centimeters. All right, so we ignoring the letters for now. What we're focusing on is that we understand the concept, right? What would PQ be? So let's call this A. What would side A be? Rod said 5. Lecky said 5. Everybody said 5. Everybody understand how they get 5? What they're saying is if from here to here is 10, and from here to here is 5, that means the rest to make up 10 must be 5 more. Everybody see that? So what would be side B? What would be the length of B? Excellent job, guys. Very good. Because if the entire line across is 15, and from here to here is 5, the rest must be 20 minus 5, which is 15 centimeters. Excellent. So that means I could feel confident in knowing that even though we're going to now deal with algebra terms, because it involves some x's, that you understand how to just find the missing space. So let's go back to this now. They say find PQ. So look at what we have. We know from here to here is 3m. So we know PQ is equal to this whole side minus this piece here. So this side here minus this side here. So what is this side? They said this side is 3x. So 3x minus what? So 3x minus x plus 3. I want the answer from everybody now. What's the answer? 3x minus x plus 3. What's the answer? I can't let things like this puncue. I seen answers coming in. I seen answers coming in. You're not lost. Just solve the question. What can you add and subtract here? It's the same concept like we just do is except we're using algebra terms. So this long side minus the short side. So the long side was 3x minus the short side, which is x plus 3. We ain't adding. X plus 3 is one thing. So it's almost like saying 3x, which is this, minus x plus 3, which is that. So now we just got, look at it as one equation. So 3x minus x plus 3, the two terms that are like in already next to each other. If you got 3 x's and you minus one of them, how much x's you got left back? 2 x's. Can I add 3 to it? No, because 3 is not a like term. It's a constant, so you add it back. So plus 3. So those persons who tried, that's it. All right. So it's just a combination of the rules. Just like how when this was 10 and this was 5, we said 10 minus 5 to get PQ. That's what we just did just now. So here would now be 2x plus 3. Now, let's look at the next one. RQ. How do I get RQ? Wouldn't I subtract the long side from the short side? Well, the short side from the long side. So what the equation is going to be, let me just zoom because I can't see. The equation is going to be RQ is equal to 4x minus 5. Subtract what? X plus 1? Anybody know why I put this in brackets? Why did I put it in brackets? Okay, let me ask this question first. Anybody think this is right? That's a question for everybody. Only 3 people answer me so far. I asked the whole class question. Do you think that this is correct? No, it's not. You make a mistake, and that's why I rate this like this. And anybody realize that there's a difference in how I rate this? Students make this mistake all the time. Let me explain something to you. I ever see this minus 2x plus 1. What does this mean? This ain't mean everything in here times negative 2. Follow me, because this is something that I need to clarify right now. Students make this mistake all the time. If I was subtracting one thing, if I was only subtracting x, it would have just been minus x. The answer is actually, hold on there, minus x minus 3. Tell me if before I explain, tell me if you see it. Why this is not plus 3 anymore. If you ain't see, tell me, tell me the truth, tell me the truth. I don't want to just spoon feed all everything. I want to see if y'all could see these things, because that's how you're going to learn it faster or learn it for longer. You see, if you don't see it, that's it. Okay, let's go again. Suppose I gave you this, minus x plus y. Is the answer for this just x, negative x plus y? Is that the correct answer? If I expand in that bracket? What is the actual answer? The actual answer in minus x minus y. Tell me if you see it now. Whenever you are subtracting a thing that comes as a group, this is a group. X minus 3 is up 1 unit. Right or wrong? If you subtracting x minus 3, you really technically subtracting x and then subtracting 3. Tell me if you see it now. Tell me if you're seeing it now. Talk to me. Because this is where people is going to leave the exam feeling good, because they just think, yeah, but I answer that there, and then when they see the answer on YouTube, they're like, but what? This is the kind of thing that has made students get these questions wrong. This is something I want to focus. You see, in algebra and even other places, if they tell you subtract this thing, you got to remember, this is not just one thing you're subtracting 2 things. So for example, suppose this was minus x minus 3. Would this still be x minus 3? X minus 3? No. It's going to be minus x, and it's going to end up be plus 3. Do you see it? Do you see why it's going to become a plus? No. Everybody with me? You got to be careful. You got to be careful. That's why I like practicing past paper exams. So let's go back now. So our answer is not plus 3. Our answer is 2x minus 3. Now, look at this example. Do you see how you should be watching this now? So I need to rewrite this first, because this is going to become 4x minus 5 minus x minus 1. If you got it, say got it. That's all. So honestly, you would get a half mark if you had 2x plus 3, but you would not get 1 because you had plus, sorry. So this gonna become now, let's run it. Let's now regroup. Now we could regroup, right? So it's gonna become 4x minus x minus 5 minus 1. Jesus Christ, where that 5 come from? That's supposed to be 4x. So what is our final answer now? 3x minus what? Let me hear this now. See if I got a fight I in here. Minus 5 minus 1 is what? Don't use our calculators, yeah. Because you can't use the calculators in paper 1. What is minus 5 minus 1? When the signs are alike, come on. When the signs are alike, you add the numbers and you put back the sign. What are you doing? Minus 6. When the signs are different, you subtract and your answer take the sign of the bigger number. When your signs are alike, you add the numbers and you put back a sign. It's like saying, I owe somebody $5 and I borrow $1 from them. How much money I owe them now? I owe them $6. All right? So let's go. We got to keep it tight. We got to keep it tight. All right, that's another exam we just done there. Oh, no, shit, we got one more. I did not say the word. Shit, sorry. Yeah, there we go. One more. So let's go. It says now, given the total area, oh my God, you know, I don't start to feel like, oh my God. Oof, let's go. This is a lot of work. This one here. Given the total area of the shape is this, show that this is equal to 0. What words are the important words here? What words do you think are very important in this question? Total. That means that's at some point in time you gotta add. Very good. Everybody agree? Once you see the word total, it means you must be adding somewhere. What other word is important? Thank you very much. No, that's another important word. What do you think is mean? What do you think is mean? That ain't mean. When you put your formula together, that means is. That means it should add up to this. It should be equal to that. And then from there, you make it look like this. So let's make sure we understand what's going on. First, we gotta find the formulas to find the area. And we know to find the area, you gotta find the total, and I'm gonna show you where the word total comes in. Then it says the area is this. So that means our first equation, wherever we write, must equal to 414. And then we gotta switch up the formula so that it looks like this. So everybody understand what you should be trying to do? Listen to me. If you get in the exam and you start doing it and you realize you don't get the same thing and you get stuck, that's okay. It means that you at least try and you got something written down. So if this is 4 marks, you could get a 2 or you could get a 3. All right, let's go back to the shape. We call this a compound shape. What do I mean by a compound shape? It means that this shape has to be broken down into 2 in order to find the area. So what is the smartest way to break this down? In this way. Let me use a different color. Let's use yellow. Let's use yellow. Wouldn't it be this way is the easiest way to get the 2 shapes? So we're going to call this part shape A, and we're going to call this part shape B, because we know it is easier to find the area of A and B and then do what with both of them? A, add them together. So you see, that is where the word total comes in, because you cannot find the area of this shape as one thing. You have to split it up into 2 pieces. So let's bust it up now. So we have the length and the width for A, and because this would be the width and this would be the length. Agreed? Talk to me. Make sure you're with me. Do you agree? So I'm just going to write out the formulas here. A is 4x minus 5. Anybody realize I'm writing it in a bracket together? Because what's the area of a rectangle? The area of a rectangle is length times width. Do you agree? And this is the length, and this is the width. So it is times, what was that? X plus 3? X plus 3. Guess what I'm going to do for me now? You know, I may not even gonna waste my time. I'm going to just do it. Because it's going to take too long. But let me ask this. How much people could multiply up these brackets? Confidently, I should say. You could multiply this out without no problem. Because I know me and my class practice this and I tell them they're going to make me stress out myself with this here. All right, so I'm going to do it. Let's break up the first bracket. The first bracket, well, to be honest, I'm going to do it the smarter way. I'm going to switch it around, put the plus sign in front. So please know that you don't got to work out this thing in one way. You could make it easier for yourself. Put x plus 3 in front, and I'm going to show you why that's easier. 4x minus 5. All right, when I'm multiplying, I break up my first bracket into 2. So that's x and plus 3. So you say the first thing times the bracket, the second thing times the bracket, which would give me x times the bracket, which is 4x plus minus 5. And the second thing, which is plus 3 times the bracket, 4x minus 5, which makes this so much easier to multiply. So there we go. X times 4x is 4x squared. That's what I did here. X times 5, so you put a minus, bring on the minus, it's 5x. Everybody following? Everybody okay? Next one, 3 times 4x is plus 12x. And you see the minus, 3 times 5 is 15. So what do I do next here? I have to solve this as fast as I can. So there's going to be 4x squared because there's no other x squares. But this is negative 5x plus 12x. I want the answer for that, please. What is negative 5x plus 12x? Integer rules. The signs are different. So what happens when the signs are different? These are the type of things I'm going to ask by over and 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 over again. Because I can't. This is the thing that y'all cannot be making mistakes in the exams. Cannot. Seven is wrong. The answer is 7x, not just 7. Okay? So it's plus 7x minus 15. So this is A. This is the area of A. Now, let's find the area of B. What was this? 2x minus 3 instead? So let's work out that. So that would be area of B is length times width as well, length times width. So that would give me x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. All right, same thing, bust up the first bracket. So it's going to be x times the bracket plus 1 times the bracket. So it's going to be x times 2x minus 3 plus 1 times 2x minus 3. All right, so let's move. This is going to be 2x squared minus 3x. 1 times 2x is 2x minus 1 times 3 is 3. So what's our final answer? 2x squared. Somebody, what's the middle term going to be? Plus x or minus x? Excellent. Minus x minus 3. So this is B. So because we ain't got all day here, what I'm going to do is just show you how to put it together and how to continue solving it. Everybody with me? So let's make sure we're on the same page. Everybody understand how we found the area of A? So we're good to go with that? Length times width, even though it is formulas, is the same thing, right? Same thing with B. Length times width, the area of B. So now we're going to find the total area. That's where the word total come from. Going to be this plus this. So area of A plus area of B. So that will give me 4x squared plus 7x minus 15 plus, so that's one thing here, plus 2x squared minus x minus 3. Now, Dane, tell us what the total area is. They told us the total area is equal to a number. What was that number again? 414? 414. Everybody with me? So, what do we do next? Don't we solve as much as we can? 414. So let me just show you guys the rest of this working just for the interest of time, so we ain't spend all day here. Hold on. What year this was again? Because I don't want to stay too long on. May I understand why this ain't working? Was it this? No. Un momento, por favor, guys. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you work it out on your own and you got it? Excellent. But everybody see what I was telling y'all about the minus 3? Oh, I see my screen, right? Y'all see my screen? I just want to make sure we're on the same page, right, guys? So let's look at it. All right. So just the confirmation, it was the minus 3, and you know why. You know why it wasn't plus 3. So good. And then you see we have all the things. So area of S plus area of T. Well, they call it S and T. We call it A and B. Same thing, right? And so when they put it together, they put the whole equation. So let's compare. So you see, they put all of it together, put it equal to 144. You see? So this is where we at. So everybody with me so far? This is where we at. So if we continue adding, so like 4x squared plus 2x squared would give us the 6x squared. All of that is just the rules. So what you notice here is that, what did they do? They bring over the 414, and everybody know why they bring over the 414, right? Because the question say make it equal to 0. So let me just show you what I mean. Because they want it equal to 0, they moved this over and it became what? A minus, right? So that's all that happened. That's how they get 434. And then they divide all the numbers by 6 to cancel it out. So it would have cancel out this X, this here, and then it would have breaking down this number to 72. And that's what they ask you to prove. Let's go back to the question. So you could see. Remember, that's what they asked you to make it look like. Everybody see that? If you got it, say got it. I'm watching the chat. I'm watching the chat. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Okay. We're busting through the next one time. So you see, we're going 3 exams in. All right. All I want is the answer, because man, walking up not like this so easy. What the answer for this? Let me just write it over. X to the 3rd power times 2. What's the answer? Wow. A little disappointed, guys. There are more to different answers I've seen. What brackets mean again? Brackets mean to multiply. So this means x3 times 2. This is the laws of indices. So what is 3 times 2? 6. I want the answer for that, please. If you ain't know these kind of things, may know what to tell you. Y to the 8 divided by y to the negative 5. I want the answer. 6 is not the answer. There's no x here. It's how you almost got it, but you used the wrong letter. I like the energy though. Everybody see how she get y13? Let's go. When you're dividing, what do you do with the powers? Yeah, subtract. So it's going to become y8 minus negative 5. And that is going to give you the double negative, which is going to turn into what? In a positive or plus. Negative and a negative come together and turn into addition. So that means we're going to end up with y8 plus 5, which is y13. Excellent job, guys. Let's go factorize. First thing first, what type of factorization is that? Let me rewrite it so you can see better. Xy minus y squared. So the first thing I want to know, what type of factorization is it? These are the options. Distributive, grouping, difference of square, perfect square, AC rule. Which one is it? The answer is distributive. This is not a square term. If it was a square term, it would have been a difference of 2 square. Listen to me. The difference of 2 square is literally self-explanatory, you know. The difference of 2 squares. 1 square minus another square. This is not a square. So the answer could only be distributive because both of them got something in common. What do they got in common? What both of them have? Both of them got y. This one got 2 y's and this one got 1 y. So I could pull out that y. When I pull out the y, what left back? X minus y. That's your answer. Next, what is this one now? What is that? What type of factorization is that? Let's go. Peoples, if you know you're not good with factorization, I suggest you be. It's very important. Can I have a difference of square? Is that true? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Is that true? Yes, it is. And whenever you're doing a difference of square, what must you find first? You must find your A and you must find your B. What is my A, everybody? Excellent. What is my B? Yep. Because remember, your A and your B is the base numbers. What is the base of X square? X. What is the base of Y square? Y. How do I factorize the difference of squares? I literally said it earlier this morning. Well, not this morning. It felt like this morning. I feel like we're online since 1948. That's okay. So it's going to be A plus B, A minus B. What is my A? X. So it's going to be X plus Y and X minus Y. Yep. Moving on. No, hence, peoples, when you see the word hence, the first thing you should do is go back and look at how the questions that you just answered could help you answer this one. You understand what I'm saying? If they say therefore, simplify, hence, simplify, it means you got to go back up. If you go back up, then you compare with how they're related. Look at it. The first question is the top part. The second question is the second part. No, man, teacher, what to do when something look like this? I can't subtract these two things because they're different. I cannot subtract these two things because they're different. What is the next step when you can't simplify by adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? Ain't to factorize. But you done factorize already. So all you got to do is write your answers from above right there. What was my answer for the top? Y brackets x minus y. So that's what I'm going to do. The top was y x minus y. What was the bottom? The bottom was factorized. That's how x plus y, x minus y. X plus y, x minus y. Can I do anything here, people? Yes or no? Talk to me, talk to me. Can I do anything here? I literally just did a question just like this. You realize the concepts are repetitive. You cancel the brackets that match. Do we have any matching brackets? Please note, listen to me. If there was a plus in between here, you can't cancel. The only way you could cancel above and below is if both of them are being multiplied. Everybody with me? Remember, canceling is really division, eh? You can't divide something that's being added. You could only divide something that's being multiplied. So I could cancel this bracket and this bracket, yeah? So I just sound like shocked there, Bible. Yeah. Oh my God, no, can't do that again. And in another word. So this is going to become y over x plus y. If you got it, say got it. As we continue to practice, these concepts should become a lot more easier to see and understand, and we should be able to move through. Look again, another question with this thing. Lord help me. I don't need to go over this again, right? Because we understand how to do it. So I could start it and you know how to finish it, isn't it? Because I am so smart and brilliant. This is literally the same exact thing, except the two shapes, instead of it being attached to each other, they're separated. Isn't it true? Given that the difference between the area, no, you see how the one before give us the total? This one tells us the difference. So instead of adding, what are we going to do? I hate crickets literally here. Let me repeat myself again. The previous question asked for the total. Let me zoom in here, see? So total means we had it to add. This one now talking about the difference. So that means, well, what is the strategy? The strategy is find the area, because you realize that's what we're looking for. The area of A, and multiply this by this, get your answer. Because that means you're just multiplying two brackets. Yeah? Okay. Find your area. Well, not A, because this done got a letter already. So I don't need to make up A. So let's say find the area of M. Then you find the area of N. And then you do a subtract. Anybody remember what's going to happen when you're subtracting? So look at this. Suppose you got, this is your M, the equation for M, minus the equation for N. How is this going to affect this? Everybody remember how it's going to affect it? Suppose our answer was this. X squared, 3x squared plus 2x plus 8. Let's pretend that's the answer. How is this going to affect this? Isn't this going to make all of these things negative? Peoples. And if one was negative, let me just put one as negative so you understand what I'm saying. So let's say this was minus 8. What would this become now? Wouldn't this become minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 8? If you got it, say got it. This is the difference between a pass and a failure. And you see how the concept came back again? This is why I really was happy that I was able to do it now, so that I don't have to worry about this if I see it coming, because this always does happen. And it's going to come back in a lot of other different topic areas. Anytime you're subtracting by a group of things, like an answer is more than one thing, you have to apply the negative sign to each thing inside that group. You can't just subtract the first thing. It's everybody in there got to be subtracted. So if a plus was in front, it turned to a minus. If a minus in front, a minus and a minus is a plus. All right? Everything here based on the concept, you should know exactly what to do, because like I said, you put two of them minus each other, you make it equal to the area 64. And when you're done, you work it out to get your answer. You move over. Why would I have to move over 64? Because they want nothing on the right-hand side. So you're going to have to move over 64, solve it to give this 0. And then let's say you got a number and you realize you could divide by a number that all them got in common to break it down. You do that so that you could get your answer to match that. That's what we've been doing, and that concept comes back a lot. So I'm hoping that if you see it, you should be able to handle it. And that's another paper done. We're moving on. Let's go. What type of factorization is this? You realize factorization comes every year? Factorization does come every year. If it's one thing you need to know what to do is factorization. It ain't a secret, so you'll be real retarded if you go in the exam and ain't know how to factorize. I'll let you know right now. Excellent job. AC rule. So let me bust up this quickly. This is my A. So my A is 5. Everybody agree? My C is positive 4. So AC would be 5 times 4, which is positive 20. Now, watch what dramatic about this. The middle number is negative. You know what I mean? What type of factors of 20 I should be paying attention to? The positive ones or the negative ones? I think we literally did this in class the other day where we was focusing on this, yeah? Yep. So I know that negative times negative will give you a positive number, but I want the negative factors because they need to add up to a negative number. So I know anybody could guess which two factors could add up to 9 from 20. I know it out my head, but I'm gonna just break it down just in case. -1 and -20. If I add it, don't give me 21. -21. I don't want that. -2 times -10 will give me 20, but if I add it up, I'm gonna get -12. We're getting closer. What are the other factors of 20? -4 and -5. When I add -4 and -5, I get -9. So that's the one I want. So, but look at that. The 5 come first. So I can just use the 5 and the 5, put the 5 together and put the 4s together. Makes sense, and so you should know the next rules. We're going to rewrite this to have 4 terms instead of 3. So put back the 5x squared, take the minus 5x, take the minus 4x, add 4. Everybody with me so far? All right, so let's go. You know, it's 4 terms, so you got a group. So what do these two got in common? They definitely got 5x in common because I could take out the 5 and I could take out the x. So when we take out 5x from this one, we're going to be left back. 1x going to get left back because we took out 1. So x going to go here. And I pull out this entire thing. So we're going to be left back 1. How do I back check to make sure that's true? 5x times 5 is 5x squared. You could always do that to make sure you're right? Minus 5x times 1 is 5x. So that's correct. All right. So let's continue. What do these two have in common here? What they got in common? 4. But check this out. At this moment, right? Look what's going on. I hope everybody locked in. This 4x is negative, but I need x to be what? I need x to be positive. So that means I got to pull out -4 instead. So watch this now. When I pull out -4, everybody should know what's going to happen to this. So what's going to be left back here is x. And because I pull out -4, this is going to affect this sign and change it from positive to a negative. Because when you pull out 4, you get itself. How do I know this is right? Because my brackets match. So because my brackets match, I know I'm on the right track. So my answer is x minus 1. And I put the two things that was outside in a bracket by itself, which would be 5x minus 4. That's your answer. Now it says, hence, solve the following equation. Wasn't this the equation they gave before? So you know, hence. Another thing is you should know, how do you solve a quadratic equation? It's 2 options you could use. You could use the factorization method, and I'm going to do both, eh? We're going to do both tonight, so you could choose which one you prefer. Or you could use the quadratic equation. Anybody know which one they prefer? Which one you prefer? Option 1 or option 2? I want to see if you even remember. Because you must have a choice. If you see a question that say solve a quadratic equation, you must already know which one you're going to use. Are you going to use the factorization method, which would make sense because you factorize already? But let's say you don't remember what to do, so you use the quadratic equation, but that's just like a lot of unnecessary work. All right, so let's use the factorization method first. And for the purpose of notes, we're going to do the other way, just in case. You don't factorize that already, so all you got to do is say, therefore, x minus 1, 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. So let me pause here. Everybody following along? Everybody with me? I'm watching the chat. I'm watching the chat. All right, so let's go. I taught my students this already. Whenever you put it equal to 0, that ain't mean one of these brackets equal to 0. So what you're going to do, you're going to say x minus 1 is equal to 0 or 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. You don't need to put the brackets anymore, actually. You could just take it out of the brackets. Everybody remember this? Anybody remember this? And because it's a quadratic equation, you should know that it got two values for the answer of x. So how do I solve this? May I just transpose like normal? So move over this. This is going to become positive 1. So x is equal to 1. This one's a little harder. So we got to move over the 4 first. So we end up with 5x equal to positive 4. We want x alone. So we divide by 5 on both sides. So we're going to have x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 4 over 5. If you got it, say got it. So listen to me, guys. Listen to me. They made this question actually easy because they separated it. If they were to ever give you a question and they just tell you, solve this quadratic equation, you know you got to factorize first. And because it's a quadratic equation, you must use your what? Your AC rule. After you find your factorization, you put it equal to what? 0, and then you break it down, make both of them equal to 0, and solve for each one to get your two answers. All right, suppose you had to use a quadratic formula. Remember how the quadratic formula look? B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. And everybody should know how to find A, B, and C. What number is A from this? Let me see if y'all remember that. What number is A? So A is what? That's 2 persons. Only 2 persons know which one is A. Disappointed, guys. We did all of this. A is going to be the coefficient of the x squared. So that's A. Let me use the red. So A, this is AX squared, B, and C. So A is going to be the 5. B is going to be what then? What is B? -9. You cannot ignore the negative sign. I keep saying that as well, guys. Those people who sending me the messages direct. Y'all forgetting the basic things. Is -9. And then what is C? Those who sending me the answer directly, that's correct. Yes, the answer is 4. Because remember, quadratic form is AX squared plus BX plus C. So anytime you got minus, that minus is a part of the number itself, okay? All right. So all you have to do is find your A, your B, and your C and substitute it in the formula. Yeah, remember that, right? When you had to substitute it in the formula, and then you're going to end up reach a place where B is equal to one thing where you got to add, use the addition version. Hold on. Where you got to use the addition version, and then the other one is where you got to use the subtract version. I'm not going back over that, no. Because we did a lot of that in class. Moving on. All right, look at this. This is very hard. It ain't really, really hard, but I'm going to tell you why it's hard. Do you know what to do for this? Make V the subject of the formula. Why is this question hard? Anybody realize that there's a V in the numerator and the denominator? Anytime there's a V in the numerator and the denominator, tell yourself that's a lot of work. Okay? So let's go. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is, how do I make this not a fraction? I think I taught this earlier in algebra, so I'm gonna do it again. You put this over 1. Then you cross multiply. So what does that mean? Let's do this first, cross multiplying. So you got W times V minus 3 is equal to 1 times 5 plus V. So let's stop here. Everybody see what I did here to change this from a fraction form to a linear form? If you got it, say got it. In the bottle of water. So let's do that again. How do you know you must do this? This comes as a fraction. You don't want to ever solve nothing as a fraction. So you make it into a linear equation. Now, what would be the next thing that we do here now? A, multiply out the brackets. Because we don't want brackets. So let's go. This is going to become WV minus 3W is equal to 5 plus V. This ain't look easier now. Where we could move everything with a V could now go on the left-hand side, and everything that don't have a V could go on the right-hand side. So let's do that. So this is plus V. Let's bring it over. So WV minus V, because it was positive, so it come minus over here, equal to 5. And we're going to move the minus 3W on the other side because it doesn't have a V, so we're going to move it over. Because it's minus, when it comes over, it's going to become what? Plus 3W. So tell me if we here already. Everybody with me so far? No. Why is this hard? These two things got in a V, which is two separate V's. How can I pull out V's from this? Isn't there something we could do to pull out a V? Pull out the V's? Anybody could tell me what that is? What do we call something when we're pulling it out? Not just dividing, but something more specific that involves dividing. So dividing isn't wrong, but it's not division itself. It starts with an F. Factorize, yes. You got to factorize out V. So let's factorize out V. So pull out V. We're going to be left back here. W minus 1 equal to 5 plus 3W. And we only want V here. So what do we do? This ain't mean the times between two of them. So I could do a divide out. Well, we do on one side, you do on the other side. So this is going to do a cancel. So V is equal to 5 plus 3W over your W minus 1. This was a lot, to be honest. You know, I want you to do for me, I need her to copy down this example. This example is actually very important. Copy down the example. And then you're going to try this for me. And you're going to try this for me on your own time. You can take a picture and send it to me if you want. to see if you get it right. Let me know when you're finished. All right, guys, I think that's the end of this year. Oh no, we got other year. And we only got one more exam after. Well, two more. All right, so let's go into the other one. All right, the height. Oh yeah, I'm glad that they bring this so I could go for this now. The height age of an object is directly proportional. I just call this thing the fish thing. Students, do you remember what formula? Do you remember this topic? Even if you don't like it, I don't care. I just want to know if you remember that we did this. What about the other students who are not in my class? Did you do this? Did you do direct and indirect variation? Mm. Okay, not yet. Mm. Okay, so I'll try to explain it since you never did it before while I go through it, okay? All right, so let's do a quick recap. So whenever you see something is directly proportionate, it just follow this one basic formula. So I'm just going to use X and Y. So Y is proportional, which is what we call the fish thing, KX. Okay. So wherever they say this is proportional to this, the form, oh shit, sorry, it's not that. It's just Y is proportional to X. Then this means that the formula is Y is equal to KX. Yes, that's it. So this is the formula that you need to memorize. The KX, Y is equal to KX. Y is equal to KX. Then there's one that says indirectly, which is the opposite. So Y is proportionate to the inverse of X because it's indirect. So the formula for that is Y is proportionate to K over X. How did I get K over X? Because it's the same thing. I'm saying K times 1 over X. And K times 1 over X is just K over X. Okay? All right. So which one you think we're using here now? We're using the left-hand side or the right-hand side? We're going to use the left-hand side because it said directly. So we're using the Y equal KX formula. No, the only thing here is that we're using different letters because here's what they gave us. They say H is directly proportionate. So let's write that down. H is directly proportionate to square root of its perimeter P. So the square root of P. So let's stop here. Everybody see how we get this? That's the basic of your formula. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. H is directly proportionate to the square root of P. I'm not moving on until y'all let me know that y'all understand how I got this. And that's the first step you got to do. So should I assume everybody it's a no? Let me count how much people respond, because if more people don't respond, I'm gonna enumerate you. Yeah, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons out of 21. Okay. Let me pull up this class list here now. Sandre ain't type nothing yet. Who's Josie or Jose? Kevin. Michaela. Wanda. Zarico. All right. So I'm gonna move on. So this is the beginning of it. So H is proportionate to the square root of P. You're literally just taking a sentence and writing the formula. So from here, what did we learn about the formula? It's gonna always be whatever they give you times K. That's what it is. So that means H is just equal to K times what is above, which is the square root of P. All right. So it's a write an equation showing the relationship between H and P. Even without looking at what this question asks us for, look, we do it here. That's it. No, they give us some substitution questions because that's literally what this topic is about, you know. Once you know the formula, which you can generate on your own based on how I just teach you, you literally just substitute the values. What the value of H is in 5.4. They give you the value of H and they give you the value of P. So they say determine the value of H when P is this. But what letter they didn't give us? They gave us H and they gave us P. What letter did they not give us? Didn't I teach y'all that always the first thing that you try to find, because K does not change. K is the constant that keeps the formula together. So if you want P, you need K. If you want H, you need K. So let's use the formula first and substitute. So they say H is equal to K times the square root of P. So they got H is 5.4, so let's substitute. So everywhere you see H, you put 5.4. 5.4 is equal to K, which we don't know, times the square root of P. What's the square root of P? 1.44. Somebody, what's the square root of P? What's the square root of 1.44? So 5.4 is equal to K times that number. So the square root of 1.44, you get 4.5, or you get, that's your final answer. Somebody say 1.2. Is that true? What is the square root of 1.44? So 1.2. All right. So guys, what do we do here if I want to get K? Somebody tell me what's the next operation. What do I do to get K? If y'all see y'all get kicked out of class, no, it's me kick all out, you check? And gangster energy activated here, because I'm not begging nobody to answer in my class. So, yeah. Give me a minute, they are coming. All right, so again, very good. Divide by 1.2 on both sides. So somebody, what's the value of K? So K is going to be equal to 5.4 divided by 1.2. How much is that? So K is 4.5. So let me ask this question. Everybody understand how I did that there? Everybody understand how to do this? Because I'm going to be honest with you. This topic is just an extension of substitution. It's not hard. You just got to remember how to build the formula. And the formula is always that. Whatever they give you and they say it's proportionate to the other thing, that's the first thing you're going to write. That thing, this means proportionate to the other thing. So that means that the first thing is equal to K times that thing that you had above. That's all. And the truth is, once you know K, you could calculate anything now. Because watch now that we know what K is, right? They gave us determine H when P is that. So now they want to know what H is when P is that, knowing that you know what K is. So let's put the formula first again. H is equal to K square root P. So don't we have K? K is what? 4.5. Don't we have P? 2.89. So we ain't got everything we need to calculate H now. So let's go. 4.5 times what's the square root of 2.89? Please practice this to make sure your calculator is special, aka giving you the wrong answers. All right, 1.7. So what is our final answer? 4.5 times 1.7. 7.65. 7.65. That's it. Yep, that's it. Was it that hard now that we did it? Was it that hard? Can I give y'all one to do by yourself just for practice? To make sure you could do it by yourself? Okay, let's try this one, right? M is directly proportional to N. If M is equal to 25 and N, wait, when N is 4, hold on, let's see. Should I? Yeah, I want y'all use a decimal. When N is 4, when N is 4, calculate M when N is 6. Work that out for me. Work it out for me. So M is directly proportionate to N. If M is equal to 25, when N is 4, calculate M when N is 6. Yeah. Anybody calculate K yet? Anybody got the value of K? What's the value of K? Okay, so that's one person. Still doing it? Okay. So we got another one, 6.25. Someone says stuck, that's okay. Anybody else trying? So let me start it just in case. Let's start it. So it's a M is directly proportionate to N. So there's the first formula. So let me see. Did you have this first? M is proportionate to N. Let's go step by step. Do you have that at least? The next step is, you know, the next formula from this. What's the next formula? M is equal to Kn. Do you have that? Because this is your formula. This is what you're going to be using. All right. What numbers did I give you in the first line here? Main, give you the M and the N. So you got to substitute that. So that means 25 is equal to K times 4. Right or wrong? So how do I find K in? To transpose by dividing by what? 4. You divide by 4 on both sides. So K, because this is going to cancel. So K is equal to 25 divided by 4 or over 4. What is 25 divided by 4, somebody? 6.25. Everybody see how easy it was? Be honest. Is it hard? All right. Now that we know what K is, we can work out the next part now. They said now calculate M when N is 6. So what do we always start off with? Our formula. So M is equal to Kn. What never changes? K never changes. So that's going to be equal to 6.25 times N. And N is a new number. What is N now? N is 6. So M is equal to these two numbers. What is the answer when you multiply these two things? $37.5. Tell me if you understand it a little better. I think y'all should copy down this, you know. Copy down that there, see? Because if I see that come in the exam, they say I'm gonna hold my head. Okay, so one person said it done. Anybody else finish copying it down? All right, so let's just highlight a few things that we see. So for the next exam, I'm not going to do the questions. I'm just going to go through the topic so we could see what's happening in terms of trend and what's been coming. Was that the last one for this one? Un momento, por favor. Yes, it was the last one from this one. So we got a little piece of that. Good. All right, so let's just review here. Here we have another factorization, which you realize the pattern, right? So again, we should never be caught off guard. And just quickly tell me, what type of factorization is this? What type of factorization is this? Anybody? Somebody? Excellent. This is the distribution. What do they both have in common? They have n in common. So you pull out your n and you pull a left back. 2, we got this shape here. It says the length, blah, 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 the perimeter. And you know what perimeter means, right? When you add up all the sides. So we ain't did this before as well. So would you be able to do this now? Would you be able to add up all 3 sides? Do not let these questions throw you off. Do not let these questions throw you off. It's a simple thing. All they want to know is if can you add and subtract like terms. You put them down, you group all the x's, you group all your terms, and then it says express your answer in its simplest form. Okay? If the perimeter is 32, find the length of the longest side. What does that mean? We ain't just find the formula for the perimeter. They say if the perimeter is, so whatever answer you get here, right? Whatever equation you get here, you put it equal to what? 32. And then if you do that, you can find out what is the value of 1x by transposing. I'm talking to y'all seriously. Wouldn't you be able to transpose to find x? No. Based on the drawing, which one got the longest side? Ain't this one here? So if you know what x is, it says to do a calculate what? Find the length of the longest side. So let's say we get x is 3. When you work it out, you get x is 3. You don't go look for which side is the longest side, which is this. And everywhere you see x, where you're going to switch it out with in 3. So that will give you 2 times 3 plus 5, which is what? 6 plus 5, which is 11 centimeters. That ain't what you would do. So do you realize it's the same thing coming in different ways? Is the answer. The one the longest side, it means that you need to figure out what x is for. So you solve for x, you plug it in, and you work out your answer. That's it. Oh my God. Yeah, want me to do this one, ain't? Okay, this rule, why this is different? Yeah, realize this got 2 sides. What did you learn in maths? Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other side, right? So even though you got 2 sides, you just got to do on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. If you want x, what would you get rid of first? Wouldn't you get rid of the 3 first? Because the 3 blocking you from getting upstairs, isn't it? So what is happening with the 3? This is being divided. So to get rid of it, what do we do? The opposite of division, which is what? Multiplication. So step 1 is to multiply by 3. If I multiply by 3 here, it means I got to multiply by 3 here, and I got to multiply by 3 here. Everybody with me so far? So what's going to happen? This going to cancel this. So what we have left back? So we're going to have negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 less than. Please note that I multiply by a positive number, so the directions ain't change. When does the direction change? If you multiply or divide by a negative number, okay? Keep that in the back of your head because you see the inequality signs, right? So what left back when this gone? That means we got 2 minus 4x is less than 15. No, remember we want the x, so we got to get rid of everything extra. What is the extra here? The extra is 2. So how do I transpose 2? I got to move it, but guess what? Everything I do to one side, I got to do it to the other side. This is positive, so this got to go in 2 directions. 2 got to go here and 2 got to go there. So when it moves, it's going to become what? A negative 2. So negative 3 was here. When the 2 came over, it became negative 2. Remember, I ain't multiply or divide it. All I did was move it, so that does not affect the sign. What left back? Negative 4x. I did not touch this sign. This sign is attached to this 4x. So you can't just erase it. The only thing that moved was the 2. So on the other side now, what was there before? 15. Remember, I got to move the 2 over to this side as well because you got to do it on all sides. So this is going to become minus 2. Everybody okay so far? What's the answer for the left-hand side? Minus 3 minus 2 as well. Excellent. Excellent. We got careful. -5. The signs are like you add, you put back the sign. I feel like when I'm sleeping, I just feel like I gotta repeat this all in my sleep because I feel like I just say this a million times a day. Put back that -4x less than what? 13 on this side. Regular 13. I wanted to put that in red. Regular 13. How everybody feeling so far? Everybody okay? No, I want X. What I mean? What I got to divide by? You see now what you're going on now? No, I got to divide by a negative number. And I got to divide everybody by the negative number. So everybody gonna switch up now. So check what's gonna happen here, peoples. This gonna become a fraction, but it's gonna become positive because a negative cancels a negative. Agreed? So this gonna become positive 5/4. Because I divide, this got to do a skirks, turn to the other side. So this gonna turn this way now. This and this cancel. So I'm gonna left back with X. Skirt. This got turn over too. All the signs change direction. And now instead of this being positive, this gonna be negative 13/4. I think I should copy down this question, yeah? Why I think? But do you understand what I did there? When you're done, sit done. Let me know when you're finished. Yeah, starting to feel nervous yet? I starting to feel nervous. And what I need you to do is use that nervous energy to start going harder. Literally, guys, these next 2 weeks is what could make or break you, aka pass or fail. And I know each one of you have what it takes to do well, but you got to do the work. Practice, practice, practice. You know, no, I don't send me no pictures of what you're doing. Nobody don't say, Miss V, I did this question, but I ain't get this one on me, honest. What are you doing? 2 things you're supposed to be doing right now. Studying from your notebooks, especially if you're in my class, because the notebooks going practice questions that are important to know and to practice itself, and doing past paper questions from the website. That's an IO. Please go hard for yourself, not for me. Go for hard for yourself. History, oh my God, maths is harder than history. What you telling me, boy, history? Nobody never gained to no college because they ain't pass history. I let you know. You can't be giving history more attention than maths. I tell you no. And if you have a proper study timetable, you should be balancing your time between both subject areas. Because if you fail maths, you know what they're going to tell you? You can't come into the program you want because you ain't got maths. If you fail history, they might tell you, do another subject on the side or pick, yeah. But Elaine, you don't know. Organize yourself properly. All right, y'all finish copying down now? So let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. That's the end of that paper. Look at that. Watch how easy this here was for question number 2. Y'all got to rip up question number 2 here. Y'all got to rip up question number 2. This is the last paper that we're going to do before we end class. I'm going to just go through it quickly. And the reason why I want to do this question is because it's a worded problem. So it's a lot of worded problems. And I want to make sure that y'all know how to get through it. Okay? Cool? So this is the last one. We actually done all tonight. Also, let me talk to y'all now, right? Next weekend, I did not take any jobs on the Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I had a session this morning with a few persons, and we went through what we went through today. What we do again? we did question number 9. So we did angles of elevation, trigs, and the only thing we didn't get to do was bearings. So I'm going to have another class on that. If you are interested in joining, let me know. But I want to have us agree what we're doing. So if we say, what today is the 28th? So listen up now. Next week, Sunday, is the day before the holiday, because that means the 6th is a holiday. That is the last Monday before the exam, because the exam is the week after. So based on my schedule, I would like to make myself available for a boot camp. And when I say a boot camp, where we go through the exams from front to back, to kind of start practice. You see how we only focusing on each question separate? That is different than going through an exam from front to back, because you know how much topics you got to recall. Everybody see what I'm saying? So imagine we only reach question number 2. And I would have wanted to give each question the same attention we did tonight. So you see how we did question 2 only tonight? I would have preferred to be able to go through question 3, question 4, question 5. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Tomorrow class going to be online. And tomorrow we're going to go through question 3 for like 5 years. Tuesday, let me see. Let's count it on my hand. So if Monday is question 3, Tuesday question 4, Wednesday question 5, Thursday question 6. So that means that I could take a break on Friday. And if people want extra sessions in the day from Friday, Saturday, we could do like some short, small classes if anybody want me to help them with anything. So that means this week I got class every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay? Because we have to. I want to know when I done, I could say it all in your hands. Because I went through everything. Okay? So that means question 5, 6, wait. No, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go to 3, 4, 5, 6 up to Thursday. Then, what people is do on Labor Monday? Why does do on Labor Monday? The exam is on the 13th. It has got things going on. No, I should be going nowhere, you know? No, I should be going away. They got 2 exams on the 6th. Jesus Christ. No, listen to me now, right? I'm trying to figure out what to do. I would have liked to give all you a mock exam. People could do mock exams online. Could we do a mock exam online? Where I pop the question and give 15 minutes to do it, and then we go through it one time? Yeah, we'll be open to doing that. If I can't do it in person, even though I feel like in person would be better, but I feel like we could do it online still, ain't? Oh my God, we got 2 weeks. Oh my God, when is the best time to do that? If you cheat, you're retarded. I'm telling you direct. If you cheat, you're retarded, because how would I help you? You can't cheat in the exam. You got to be preparing yourself to do the exam. So cheating ain't gonna make no sense. So it ain't even about me watching you cheat, because that if you cheat, you ain't cheating me, no, you're cheating yourself. You check? All right, so let's do the schedule. I'm gonna write it down. Yeah, honestly, this is what we gotta start managing now. And the only thing to help fix your anxiety is confidence. So let's do we schedule now, and even myself, I'm gonna be prioritizing. Let me see if I got any major jobs any day. The only job I have is next week, Friday, the 10th, for the Ministry of Youth. And that doesn't affect us with class because I don't have classes on Friday. And on Saturday, I got a small job to drop off the bouncing castle, but it's just for me to drop it off and pick it up. So that means I could still have class. Please note, the whole Sunday before the exam, I online, eh? And don't forget, we also on TikTok looking to see if they leak the paper again. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because if they cheat last year, they could cheat this year again, to be honest. So keep an eye out. A lot of people on TikTok just talk about it, and YouTube and Instagram. So today is the 20th, tomorrow is the 29th. So let's go. Schedule. Exam prep schedule. Exam prep schedule. Okay, let us decide now. Are all of our classes going to be online from now? I'm asking everybody to tell me no. Let's see what we prefer. No, your paper one is at the end of June. Or no, the beginning of June. The first week in June. We're gonna deal with paper one separate. We just gotta get paper two out the way. How about we at least got one more face-to-face then? But when that gonna be though? The 8th? The Wednesday, the last Wednesday before the exam? I think so. Okay. So let's go. The 29th, which is Monday, tomorrow. Tuesday, the 30th. I'm doing the schedule now so we could write it down. Wednesday, the 1st. Thursday, the 2nd. And then remember Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is open. And then the Sunday is a big day. I think I'm gonna try to do the whole day Sunday again. So we're gonna got a morning session, an AM session, or early afternoon, you could say. And put 2 sessions here. So those who want to join could join. Those who don't want to don't need to. So that's 2 sessions. What date is this? The 5th? The 5th. So then we have no problem. So do we agree? Are we gonna have class on Labor Day? And who come? The night, in the evening? Because if some people gonna be home doing nothing anyways, we could just have a session. Okay, so Monday the 6th. I don't know, tongue must be a little too ghetto for me, so I don't go. Me ain't saying it ghetto, right? I'm just saying a lot of little children and I as a teacher and me trying to be up and down with a bunch of people jamming behind television band. The 7th. Wednesday can be face-to-face. Wednesday the 8th is face-to-face. Face-to-face. And this gonna be, what we're gonna focus in this class is formulas, memorizing the formula sheet again. Please make sure y'all drinking water, eating well. Thursday online. So every other class is online except this one here. This one here is face-to-face. Yeah. Everybody else is online. So Thursday, we're gonna have class for sure. I'm gonna write out the topics and the schedule or what questions come in, eh? 10th I can't. Actually, I might not be able to do the 9th because I got to set up for the 10th. So I can't do the 9th. So it's gonna be the 11th, which is the Saturday before the exam. So the 11th, and then the Sunday all day. Not all day. I want to do it all day so that in the evening you could go relax yourself and relax your mind. So I would say all day until, what's a good time? Like 6 p.m.? So we end at 6 p.m., no later than 6 p.m. So you could go and do your own thing. If you need to do your own thing, get yourself ready. Make sure you got everything that you need to have. Yeah. And then maybe I would make myself available if anybody need to ask me anything. Because I know somebody gonna be panicking like some punks. Say, I am a little pep talk. Okay. So let's outline the questions now. Let's see if we could make it work. So we did question 2. So tomorrow is question 3. Question 4. Question 5. This, we need graph paper. I need all to draw these graphs at home. So please have your graph papers ready. Okay, and then question 6. This Sunday is a big Sunday. So question 7 is easy. So the morning session, so morning or the first session is question 7, because that's the pattern and sequence. Oh, I understand what you mean. That's a tight timeline. Yeah. I get what you mean. Rather than just come in tone. Yeah, I see you. But I'm gonna always have it recorded, okay? So you can always go back. So morning, I should just put first session, because it's not necessarily in the morning. So first session is question number 7. Second session, question number 8. And then, oh yeah, we make it question number 9. Question number 10. I mean, we gotta stick to the schedule for sure. Then this face-to-face is formula sheet, because we would have done all the questions. We're gonna go back over all the formulas in class face-to-face to make sure you know them out your head, you understand them, you know how to use them. That means that this day is full past papers. Full past papers. Sunday too, full past papers from front to back. Okay, that sounds like a good plan, right? Somebody take a picture of this, please, because I'm gonna need it. So this sounds like a great plan. This is how we're gonna finish. And to be honest, if you could make it to all these classes, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna pass. If you do extra, if you come all these classes and practice by yourself, you're gonna increase the quality of your pass. Everybody check what I'm saying? All right, so that's where we're gonna end tonight, guys. That's it. No, send it to me on WhatsApp. So that's where we're gonna end today, guys. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow online. I'll send the link. Bye.